Forget everything you've learned about angels and biblical creatures from Renaissance paintings or children's drawings. The reality described in the original texts of Scripture is far stranger, more complex, and sometimes more terrifying than any current science fiction film. You probably believe you know what a cherub is or what an angel looks like, but in the next few minutes, your perception will be completely shattered by descriptions of beings with multiple faces, flying wheels covered in eyes, and colossal beasts that inhabit the depths of the earth and sea. If you seek to understand the most mysterious and supernatural side of the Bible, this is the definitive guide that reveals the 10 most enigmatic creatures of Scripture, and I guarantee that the number 7 will forever change your view of the end times. We begin by breaking the biggest myth of all, the appearance of the cherubim. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, they are not winged babies, but imposing guardians with 4 distinct faces. Each one has the face of a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle, allowing them to look in all directions at once. Their feet shine like polished bronze and end in hooves, while 4 wings cover their bodies, revealing human hands beneath them. They move with the speed of lightning, acting as the elite guard of divine holiness. Just below these beings, the prophet Ezekiel describes something even more abstract and visually challenging. The Ophanim. Often called wheels of fire, these beings do not possess a human biological form. They are described as wheels within wheels, with rims so high that they inspire fear, as they are completely covered in eyes around their entire circumference. They shine with the brilliance of beryl and possess their own spiritual consciousness, moving in perfect synchronicity with the will of God, representing a form of celestial intelligence that the human mind can barely process. Ascending to the spheres closest to the throne, we find the seraphim, mentioned by the prophet Isaiah. Their name literally means those who burn, beings of pure fire that emit a light and heat unbearable to any sinner. They possess 6 wings. With 2, they cover their faces as a sign of extreme reverence. With 2, they cover their feet. And with the other 2, they fly in perpetual adoration that makes the foundations of the temple tremble. They represent absolute purification, where contact with their fiery nature is capable of consuming all iniquity. But the Bible doesn't only speak of celestial beings. It recounts mysteries that walked among us, such as the enigmatic Nephilim. In Genesis, we are informed that before the flood, the sons of God united with the daughters of men, generating a lineage of giants and heroes of antiquity. This mixture of the spiritual and the physical created aberrations of extraordinary strength and colossal stature, whose wickedness was so profound that it became one of the reasons for Noah's catastrophic judgment. The Nephilim remain one of the greatest archaeological and theological mysteries, a vestige of an era where the boundaries between heaven and earth were broken. When we look at the forces of untamed nature, the Bible presents us with Leviathan in the book of Job. He is not a simple sea creature, but a monster whose scales are so dense that not even air can pass through them. Flames of fire come out of his mouth, and dense smoke emanates from his nostrils, like that of a furnace. His heart is as hard as stone, and he despises iron as if it were straw. Leviathan is the symbol of primordial chaos, a being that no man can capture, serving to remind Job and all of us of God's sovereignty over the most terrible forces in the universe. On the opposite side, on dry land, emerges Behemoth, a terrestrial creature so vast that the text states that it extends its tail like a cedar. Many try to identify it as a hippopotamus, but the description of its bones as bronze tubes and its strength in the muscles of its belly suggests something much older and more monumental, possibly an extinct creature that the Creator points to as the masterpiece of terrestrial life. The mystery reaches its peak of horror in the book of Revelation with the description of the locusts of the abyss. When the 5th trumpet sounds, creatures that resemble war horses emerge from the bottomless pit, but with human faces, long hair, lion's teeth, and golden crowns. The noise of their wings is compared to that of 1,000 chariots going into battle. and their scorpion tails have the power to torment men for 5 months with unbearable pain. They are led by a king named Abaddon, the angel of the abyss, representing a plague that defies any natural explanation. Immediately afterward, the prophecy reveals the beast that rises from the sea, a hybrid figure with 7 heads, 10 horns, the body of a leopard, the feet of a bear, and the mouth of a lion. This creature is the personification of corrupt political and spiritual power, receiving its authority directly from the great red dragon, which is the ancient serpent, Satan himself. This dragon, with its colossal tail, was able to drag down 1/3 of the stars of heaven, symbolizing the magnitude of cosmic rebellion and eternal opposition to the divine plan. Finally, in the heart of celestial glory, Revelation shows us the 4 living creatures, which, despite bearing a resemblance to cherubim, possess their own characteristics with 6 wings and eyes that cover every inch of their bodies, inside and out. They take the forms of a lion, a calf, a man, and an eagle, representing all of creation in its purest and most devout form. They never rest, for their existence is focused on proclaiming the holiness of the one who lives forever. Through these beings and creatures, we realize that the Bible is not just a book of words, but a record of a vast, complex, and often frightening reality that exists beyond the veil of our senses. Studying these mysteries is not just curiosity, it's understanding that the universe is much larger and more populated with mysteries than our current science is capable of explaining. If you wish to continue unraveling the deepest secrets of the Scriptures, subscribe to Mysteries of the Bible and prepare for what's to come.